Hello students. In this class, I am going to discuss about some vectors, their types and characteristics. Basically, vectors means the carrier. In the molecular biology, we use generally the vectors for transfer of DNA molecules, and it is basically used for mainly for cloning purpose. And let's start. So the vectors are small DNA molecules. Those are capable of self-replication. So these vectors containing the origin of replication region, and these vectors should be very small molecular size so that they can be inserted easily into a uh, organism, and in which these vectors can be propagated independently. And these vehicles are known as the cloning DNA or cloning vehicles. The it is the carrier of a foreign DNA fragments, and these foreign DNA fragments are basically cloned into an organism so that the DNA fragments may be expressed into that organism. So, for the fulfillment of some objectives of cloning. And some examples are plasmid, phage, vectors, hybrid vectors, artificial chromosomes, etc. So the characteristics of the vectors are it is self-replicating, and there should be multiple copies. And because of self-replicating property, these vectors should be containing of the replication of origin site or oric site. It must have some cloning site. This is known as the multiple cloning site or multiple cloning site, and they are selected by the possessing of some selectable markers. And these vectors should be small size so that the carrying of this vector is more feasible. Also, they are of lower molecular weight and easily isolated and purified from the host cell. And if they are easily isolated and purified, they can be easily inserted into the host cell. So it also be a property of vectors. They have some control elements or regulatory elements known as promoter, operator, ribosome binding site, so that they have the ability to uh, express their DNA, their foreign DNA or carrier DNA into the organism, so that these vectors can be independently express their proteins. Okay. So there are two types mainly. One is the cloning vectors, another one is the expression vector. But still, we can found there are several classes of vectors. One is the transcriptional vectors, another one is the hybrid vectors. But as a whole, we can classify these vectors into two groups. One is the cloning vector, another one is the expression vector. So cloning vectors are those have the ability to propagate or cloned into the DNA insert inside a suitable host cell. The examples are plasmid, phage, virus, etc. It have multiple copies inside the host cell, and the uses are of these cloning vectors. They are used for the making of genomic library and preparing probes. The genetic engineering experiments can be done with the help of these cloning vectors, and they are also used for the selection of other cloning vectors, and to gain some knowledge of existing vector, and for various research purpose they are used. The sorry, the expression vector sorry, the expression vectors are those vectors those are expressed into the host cell for the production of specific proteins, and they have prokaryotic promoters, and also they have the ribosome binding site and origin of replication, and they can be selected by the by having some antibiotic resistance marker gene. And these expression vectors have the strong promoter, because if these vectors do not have any strong promoters, then the expression of genes will not be visible, and thus the expression of proteins also not feasible. And they are also classified into two classes. One is the inducible expression vector, another one is the eukaryotic expression vectors. The inducible expression vector can be induced by the addition of several signals or several chemicals. There is an example known as that is used for the gas assay, and this gas vector is an example of inducible vectors. And also this is also the eukaryotic vector, which is expressed inside the plant cell. So these are the vectors, classes of vectors, and the target host cells are given here. Basically, plasmid vectors is plasmid vector has the host cell of bacteria Streptomyces, and bacteriophage target are bacteria. Different cosmids have the host cell are bacteria. The yeast cloning vectors target host cell is yeasts. The Ti and Ri plasmids are the plasmid vector. They are used for the transformation of clone gene into higher plants. So the agent use versus as vector, basically we use plasmid and bacteriophage cosmid, the artificial chromosomes, for various purposes as vector. In they are used mainly cloning and expression of genes. And during 1973, Cohen described the first successful construction of recombinant vector, and this is the first example of artificial vectors, and it was mainly the plasmid vectors of E. coli with some modifications. And these plasmid PSC101 from E. coli was constructed artificially, and on the basis of this principle, various artificial chromosome vectors are now available in market for various research purpose. So plasmid is an extra chromosomal DNA molecules which have the self-replication ability, and it is double-stranded DNA. It is basically circular, and it has short molecular size, and it is found in prokaryotic cells. Basically this is the this containing a minimum amount of DNA, and there are mainly two suitable markers for their identification. And there is a single restriction site in which the multiple restriction enzyme can be acted for the cutting of this plasmid, circular plasmid, to open it. And in this opening, uh, the foreign DNA can be inserted or cloned, and they can be propagated with the help of the origin of replication of the plasmid. Basically, the plasmid size can vary from 1 kb to 200 kb, and it is controlled by the relaxed replication control mechanism. And there they use basically restriction endonuclease enzymes for their cutting and joining modifications. There are three types of plasmid. One is fertility plasmid, also known as the F plasmid, and they are easily readily used for the conjugation in bacteria. Another one is restriction resistant plasmid, or R plasmid. It contains the genes for resistance power against the antibiotic and poisons, and they also found in bacteria. And another one is called plasmid, which contain genes that code for proteins that can kill bacteria. And these three plasmids are very much available in prokaryotic system. And with some modification of this plasmid, we can easily construct a construct our cloning or expression vectors. So there are some examples of plasmid vectors. The first vector, plasmid vector, which was constructed was PBR322, and modification was done PBR327 and 325. Another modification was done on PBR322 is PBR328, PAC 8, PAC 9, PAC 12, PAC 13, PGEM3Z are the examples of plasmid vectors. So first vector, it is the PBR322. It was a cloning vector, and in a E. coli cell there are 15 copies are found. It can be used for the reconstruction plasmid, and basically it is derived from E. coli plasmid called E1, that is basically a col plasmid. And this PBR322 contains around 4.4 base pairs, 4.4 kilobase pairs, and the name derived PBR322. It is the it basically contains the plasmid, and the scientist who discovered this plasmid was Bolivar and Rodriguez, gives the name B and R, and 322 is the number given for the distinguishing of this plasmid. Basically, it is containing ampicillin resistance gene, which is derived from RSF2124 strain, and it also contain the tetracycline resistant gene from PSC101, which is a col plasmid, which is basically the plasmid which was artificially constructed by the by Cohen, and it is the containing the origin of replication from PMB1, and the two selectable markers are ampicillin and tetracycline resistance marker. So this is the construction of PBR322, in where we can see the ampicillin and tetracycline resistance marker are there, and there are several cutting site restriction cutting sites are there, and there are cutting site PST1 and BAM in between the ampicillin resistance gene, and also BAM H1 and SAL1 in the tetracycline resistance gene, and with the insertion of foreign gene into that position leads to the destruction of these resistance power of the ampicillin and tetracycline gene respectively. The PBR327 is derived from PBR322. It has much higher copy number compared to the PBR322, and this is an expression type of plasmid. It also contains the ampicillin and tetracycline resistant gene, and the deletion of nucleotide between 1427 and 2516 base pair. The modification was made, which ultimately leads to the PBR327, and which is a shorter size compared to the previous 322. The PAC8, it is the popular E. coli cloning vector, and it is derived derivative of PBR322. The two parts derived are ampicillin resistance gene and col E1, the origin of replication, and it contains around 2700 base pairs. It is derived from the LAC-Z gene from E. coli of LAC operon, and the polylinkers sequences having unique restriction sites which are lies in the LAC region. So the LAC gene can also be used for the selection of this plasmid. The fudge vectors are basically the cloning used for the cloning of large DNA fragment, as they are basically the fudge molecule, and they are basically linear molecule. As they contain more number of DNA molecules inside it, basically they are very much efficient than plasmid. They are used for the storage of recombinant DNA, and commonly used E. coli fudges are lambda fudge and M13 fudge. These bacteriophage vectors are used for the cloning vectors, and it infects the bacteria. And there are two types of bacteriophage vector, lambda and M13 fudge. So the properties of lambda fudge vectors are it has the genome size 48.5 kb, which is very higher compared to a bacterial vector, plasmid vector, and it has the higher transformation efficiency. about 1,000 times more efficient compared to the plasmid vectors, and these also contain the other properties like origin of replication and other properties of plasmid vector. It calls also it has the linear genome which is packed inside the head of the fudge, and basically it is the single stranded protruding cohesive ends of 12 bases which can be joined together to form a circular plasmid type organization. And these 12 bases protruding ends are known as the cos site. It is used for the cleavage of the fudge DNA site. The M13 phage is also a filamentous bacteriophage of E. coli, and it is used for the obtaining of single-stranded copies of DNA sequence. And it is used for the DNA sequencing inside the host cell. And when it is inserted into the host cell, it becomes double-stranded with the using the mechanism of host replication machinery. And this is the circular type of M13 vector inside the host cell. So there are some hybrid vectors. Basically, these hybrid vectors are component of for both plasmid and fudge chromosomes, and they are basically containing the origin of replication from E. coli, and basically they contain carry the larger size of DNA, which is the property of fudge. Basically, these hybrid vectors are developed during 1970s by Barbara Horn and John Collins, and they are basically their size are basically 30 to 40 kilobase pair, which is a huge size. And they also contain the other characteristics of plasmid DNA, and they are basically smaller than plasmids, so that their size copy number can be higher, and they are used for the construction of genomic libraries in eukaryotes. The examples are cosmid. The cosmid is the combination of lambda chromosome with the part of plasmid, and it contains the cos site of lambda and plasmid origin of replication. It behaves both as plasmid and fudge. As cosmid carry up to 50 kb of inserted DNA, these are used for the construction of genomic library, and their characteristics they contain the origin of replication from E. coli and the cos site of lambda fudge, so that they can be circulated inside the host cell, and they contain the ampicillin type of resistance gene. So this is the basic feature of cosmid, where the cos site is shown and the restriction sites are also there. And this is the another hybrid of cosmid known PJB8, which is the example of cosmid, which contains a multiple cloning site, also the ampicillin resistant gene and cos gene. And inside these two genes, the uh, also there may be some presence of cloning sites or restriction sites. And there are some artificial chromosomes. These are basically constructed artificially using the bacterial and mammalian cell culture, and they are basically linear or circular. They can be the copy number may vary from 1 to 2 copies per cell, and the different artificial chromosomes are there, known as bacterial artificial chromosome, yeast artificial chromosome, P1 fast derived artificial chromosome, mammalian artificial chromosome, human artificial chromosome, etc. The yeast artificial chromosome is used for the cloning in yeast, and BAC and PACs are used as the cloning vector in bacteria, and as well as the MAC and HAC are used for the cloning purpose in mammalian and human cells. So the bacterial artificial chromosome, the first bacterial artificial chromosome is PBAC108L. It is used for the cloning of large region of eukaryotic genome in the bacteria, which may be helpful for the production of eukaryotic protein inside the bacterial culture. And the origin of replication is from the bacteria E. coli F factor, and these back vectors are used for the analysis of genomes and for the hosting of mutant strain. So, the yeast artificial chromosome is a linear plasmid vector. It can be cloned to the large segment up to 1.4 kilobase pair inside it, and it contains occurring in two forms: circular, which is grown inside the bacteria, and linear type, which multiplies inside the yeast. The example is PYC3, YSC3. It is the first YAC vector developed, and it contains the replication origin of replication, which is ARS sequence, and also contains a centromeric function region, SIN4 and TRP1 and URA3 are two selectable markers which are present in the YAC yeast artificial chromosome, and these are used for the mapping of complex eukaryotic chromosomes. So in this slide I have collectively shown the function of mode of function of bacterial and viral vectors. Here you can see the bacterial plasmid DNA can be used for the cloning of foreign DNA, and it can be used for the transformation, which contains the recombinant DNA molecules. And when this recombinant DNA molecules is inserted into the host cell, the host cell multiplication of host cell done with the multiplication of the plasmid vector. As well as in case of virus, the viral DNA can be used for the vector, which can be used for the cloning of foreign genes, and the recombinant DNA molecules is packaged into the mature virus by transfection, and they are used for the infection of host cell, in which the lytic cycle, when the lytic cycle goes on, the multiple recombinant DNA molecule can be produced. So students, in this class I have discussed the vectors which are used for the recombinant DNA technology, and it is very important for the recombinant DNA technology. And these vectors are basically the first step of RDT, and where we can use these vectors for the production of different proteins artificially inside using the cell culture mediated techniques. So students, please go through these slides, and if you have any question you can ask me. Thank you.